Hello, hi, and good morning. No, I'm gonna bring you closer, girlfriend. Okay, hello, hi, good morning. I wanted to make a video this morning because I was reading and I was reflecting on how much my life has changed in the past month, I would say. And I'm gonna tell you why. So, first of all, it's just us, FaceTime besties. But welcome to Autism Pump YouTube, where we discuss my experiences with autism, mental illness, chronic illness, disability, and becoming a baby bodybuilder. So in the past month, I would say, month and like a week, I've only gone to the gym I think 3 times, but it's been an extremely transformative month. And although I've made the least amount of money I've made in a really long time, in like 2 years, I don't know. Yeah, 2 years. Um, the what I've gained in regards to wealth, like mind wise, has been very good. But I wanted to talk about chronic illness right now, really quickly, and how really my life has changed in the past month. Because I've spoken about this a lot before, about how I spend on average around 18 to 22 hours a day in bed. I eat in bed, I watch TV in bed, I work in bed, I spend all my time in bed. And I've tried before to come downstairs to the living room, to, any other room for an extended period of time, and I just have such a hard time with it. And I really experienced a shift in the past month. Now, because of the fact that I am out of bed, I'm in a lot more pain, but it has really helped with my mental health, I think, because it all started with, I think, two things. So, one, I had a therapy session that I forced myself to be downstairs for. And the first day that I scrapbooked in bed, and I was like, this kind of sucks. I really should do this at a table. So I scrapbooked downstairs. And I basically really shifted my life to being significantly more, I wouldn't say productive, but by being out of bed less, by creating a space in which I was able to feel safe and feel joy. Because when you are sick, when you're chronically ill, when you're disabled, right, you spend a lot of time in bed because you're sick all the time. And it becomes kind of like your safe space. Especially with me, I have Ehlers-Danlos. I'm constantly, even in bed, I'm injuring myself. Like I injure myself in my sleep. I literally will go to sleep and I'll wake up with a sprained ankle, or like I'll partially, dislocate parts of my body in my sleep. And it is what it is. So pretty much like anything is a threat. Standing is a threat. Leaning is a threat. Walking is a threat. Like everything is a threat to my body. And I tried a couple months ago to try to come downstairs just to watch Netflix, right? And I brought my duvet down because I felt like maybe if I had my comforter and my own pillows, that it felt more like bed and that it would be okay. And I just panicked after 30 minutes, like I went back upstairs. So I scrapbooked downstairs, I did a hobby, and then I, had my therapy appointment downstairs. And then all of a sudden, I really enjoyed scrapbooking. Like I really enjoyed that version of crafting because it was low maintenance. It enabled me to create something beautiful that, had memories of each day, which I liked. And it was, low effort, but it involved concentration in the sense of like, you have to really be present because you're thinking of like, it sounds stupid, but you have to be present because you're cutting paper, you're thinking of layouts, you're peeling stickers, whatever. So it helps me. And I always feel stupid when I'm doing it because I'm like, really? Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what brings me joy. But who gives a shit? If it brings you joy, it brings you joy. That's what's important. And because of that small shift, because of one decision to scrapbook downstairs, my life has changed so much in the past month. Like, I've always been a book girly. When I was growing up, if I wanted to watch like a 20-minute Arthur episode, my dad would make me read for an hour and a half. And I always read in weird positions. Like, I would read like this for hours, like holding my book like this, which is funny because it's like definitely, that's very like hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos core. Like, just like being in weird positions and being comfy. And I feel like because of how much he made me read, and how much extra credit book reports he made me do. Like, it really turned me off of reading for my whole life. But I've read throughout my whole life, and throughout my whole adult life, I've pretty much exclusively just read nonfiction. And throughout childhood, I only read fiction. And last year, I had a shift where a follower of mine, David, I absolutely love him. He's an old man, and okay. Listen, it sounds weird. He doesn't want anything from me. He just likes my content. Doesn't want anything inappropriate. He's become kind of like a father figure to me. He sent me art supplies. Like, he sent me a Kindle. And he's just like an absolutely beautiful person. I actually sent him all my scrapbook photos this morning because he told me he's starting a canvas. I digress. I don't even know what I was talking about. I need to take pause for a second and come back to what I was thinking about. I really don't remember, if I'm being honest. ADHD, scrapbooking downstairs. Reading. There we go. So I started reading fiction last year because I got like a Kindle like unlimited subscription, and I read like pretty much all of Frida McFadden's books in like 2 months. Like, I would read one every single day. And those are so low effort, poorly written books. But it's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be like I found that I feel like everything that I do, right? I feel like if it's not productive, because productivity is tied to my sense of self-worth because of my dad, because of we live in a capitalistic society as well, but because of how my dad raised me. So I feel like if I'm not being productive by reading a nonfiction book that's going to help me learn something, then I feel like it's a waste. And I realized actually yesterday, because I was thinking about the fact that I had not really made any money in the past month, and I was thinking about the fact that I, have spent pretty much all my time scrapbooking and reading, and some of the books that I've been reading have been fiction books, and I was like, there is value in that, because learning how to take the opportunity to regulate your nervous system and calm down, that is going to lead you to being more productive, because you have the ability to cope, right? And I think it all became a little bit too much because I started really habit stacking and very quickly. And it became that there weren't like enough hours in the day. Like, I started having a very on schedule routine of like, I would wake up, I would make my bed, I would let the dogs out and give them food, I would sit down, I would write in my gratitude journal, I'd write in my regular journal, write my intentions for the day, to-do list, and then I would have my meds, my protein brownie, my tea outside on the porch, drink that, come in, read a book, then, post 60 videos, then, it was just, and then I started adding stuff to my night routine, like for the past, except for yesterday because it was a rough day, like for the past almost month, which I've never done before, I've been brushing my teeth consistently and doing skincare, which I also didn't do yesterday, but I have been doing consistently for like the past month. The past week has been a little bit stressful, but definitely had an autistic shutdown the other day while I was scrapbooking, and I could no longer speak. It's really like, that's what a lot of people like talk about like going nonverbal, but if you're not like an autistic person who is nonverbal, then you can't go nonverbal, but you can experience a verbal shutdown. So I had an autistic shutdown. I experienced a verbal shutdown where I couldn't talk for like 5 hours. It's really awkward when you live like at home. I speak out loud to myself frequently, but mainly like it's hard when you can't communicate with your dogs. Anyway, what I'm saying is that it's been a very transformative month because I usually like have, Netflix playing in the background when I'm working, or, I spend a lot of time in bed and I'm constantly worried, right? I spend so much time worried that I'm not being productive, I'm not doing enough, I'm not out of bed enough, I'm too sick, like whatever. And although I'm experiencing a lot more pain because I'm outside of bed more, I feel better. Like, yes, I'm in more pain, I'm more flared. Maybe that's not a good thing, but it feels like progress to me that I'm able to feel safe in other parts of my house. And I think that there's value in that. I think that I needed to find a way to feel safe, to try, like to let go of some more self-destructive behaviors. Like if you saw a YouTube video from a couple weeks back, I talked about like addictive spending, and it's been almost 10 days of me not buying anything. I did get, like, I'm allowing myself to purchase necessities, and I purchased scrapbooking tape because I was all out. But like that to me is not considered to be spending, like extra spending. And it's funny because usually when I like do extra spending, I call my mom to like, like rid myself of sins. But I didn't feel the need to call her because I knew in my heart, I was like, this is a necessity purchase because this is a hobby that I do every single day. It regulates me. I'm not purchasing a bunch of stickers. I'm not purchasing more scrapbooking paper. I'm purchasing glue because I do need it because I don't have any more of it. But yeah, I mean, it's weird how it's been such a transformative month, but I've barely gone to the gym. Like, I've had therapy, and I feel like every time that I go to therapy, I have an issue that I want to work on, and by the next week, like, I've worked on it and resolved it. And I think also something that's very interesting and of value is the fact that I'm learning to pause myself more, to like ask myself what's going on in my body, how to address it. Like, I'm learning to be more emotionally intelligent, learning how to slow down, like recognizing self-sabotage. And I think it's beautiful. Like, I think that something that I was, saying to myself this morning out loud, because I speak to myself out loud all the time, is that despite the fact that the past month was my worst month financially, and it might be for the next few months, that's what happens when you're an entrepreneur, when you run your own business and you're putting a lot of time in. Sometimes you just don't have good months, and that's okay. But I do believe that the progress that I've made in the past month will inevitably lead to wealth, whether that's emotional wealth, whether that's physical, like monetary wealth. I do believe that it has made me more wealthy, and I think that there's value in that. There's value in taking time and pausing things. And I also think that I have been consistently going to the gym for over 4.5 years. On November 5th, it will be consistently 5 years of consistently lifting weights. And I think that it's natural to get tired of it, especially me as somebody who has Ehlers-Danlos, is physically disabled. Sometimes I have to use a cane. It's very hard for me because when I go to the gym, there isn't a lot of variation. I'm usually doing the exact same exercises, and it's mainly just shoulders and arms, right? And when I'm at the gym, because I'm walking around more than I normally do, I usually partially dislocate like my knees or my hips, and it leads me to feeling pain. And, a couple days ago was like, okay, I feel like going. And then I just didn't go, and I was like, that's okay. I don't think that I need to force myself to do things that I feel like not that I have to do, because I do force myself to do things that I feel like I have to do all the time. Like every day I clean up my kitchen, every day that, I make sure that the dishes are put away. I make sure that, the bed is made. I make sure that I'm working like a minimum of 6 hours a day. Like, there are things that I do that I force myself to do that I don't want to do all the time. And I used to say all the time, and I've said it to my mom recently because, she's at the beginning of her gym journey and she's seeing great results. And she said, I just don't feel like going to the gym. And I said, listen, if I didn't go to the gym every day, I didn't feel like going to the gym, I'd never go. But when you get to this level, right? And I'm not talking about aesthetics because obviously I'm not super muscular. But when you get to this level where it becomes very second nature, you're consistently going for several years at a time, you don't feel guilty when taking time off because it's there for you. Like, you've already done the progress. You've proven to yourself that you have that ability. So I don't feel guilty for taking time off the gym, because when you are in a state of just being too tired, you found passion in other places, and then you're like forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to do that are hobbies. Like, I'm not talking about necessity based things. I feel like it's just going to completely turn me off. And in the past month also, oh my God, I've literally switched meds 4 times in the past month. And there was a week where I tried a new medication, and all my emotional intelligence, all the work that I've done, everything just went right out the window. Like over the past like 13 years of sobriety, like the way that I was communicating with my mom, like oh my god, I was in so much pain. It was horrific. Like it's interesting because your brain chemistry really does change things. Like, and something beautiful that I wanted to share with you before I go, um, that was like a huge deal for me. Like, huge. So I started making this, like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to pass out. Sorry. um, I started making a mini scrapbook. I've been working on this for days. It's kind of why I'm in so much pain. And I'm hoping that I'm going to finish it today. But I've been working on a mini scrapbook, essentially, that is filled with somatic therapy and cognitive distortion flashcards, because I wanted to learn the terms in a fun way, because the cards were kind of like aesthetically not pleasing, and I find that I really like looking at my scrapbook every morning, so I wanted to make it. And I'm going to make this a separate YouTube video, but I thought it was really interesting because I didn't want to buy another scrapbook. And I was looking around my house trying to find old journals, like trying to find something that would be like pocket size that I could carry with me if need be. That would be easy to travel. I don't travel, I don't go anywhere. But anyway, whatever. So I wanted something small. I finally found this, and I bought it a couple years ago. I don't know if I can actually read what I wrote, but the first page was like a really like 60-second line drawing a pork chop, and the second page, and it was on November 28th, 2024 at 5:11 p.m. And it says, imagine a life where I was less mentally ill, less wanting to leave the earth, you know the word for it, and more capable of coping, ? Is this possible, ? And I just thought how fitting, like how beautiful that I am making a literal somatic therapy and cognitive distortion scrapbook in this. And my life has completely changed in the past 2 years. And I'm so much more capable of coping. And I have those feelings that I had for over a decade, multiple times a day, every single day, of wanting to like the earth, so much less. I just thought it was beautiful. And there's been a lot of change in the past couple of years, and there's been so much change in the past month. I just wanted to share that with you. I think that as chronically ill people, we get caught in, a cycle of being sick, of being in bed. And, while I'm very fortunate to be less sick, less disabled, and have the ability to pay for my medication at this point in time, which leads me to be like less stressed, I've spent my entire life spending a lot of time in bed, and it's become a safe space to me. And I think that if you have the ability and the resources, and you are, not sick enough to be able to try to create a safe space that isn't just your bed, because for me, it really has been so life-changing. And it's interesting how one small action, one small habit change can lead to a very different life. And I just wanted to share that with you. I thought it was really beautiful. I kind of went really off track, but you know what? I have ADHD. I'm always going to be off track. I'm never not going to be off track. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because I feel like it's been such a transformative month. And it's just funny because I didn't expect it to be, as somebody who has made like the least amount of money that they've made in 2 years, as somebody who, has gone through so many medication changes that were really bad, and I had really bad side effects, but things are changing and it's good. And yeah, that's it. I think I'm just proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for always pushing to be better, to be the best version of myself, and for learning what's going on with me in my body and learning how to better accommodate myself. And I'm proud of the fact that I have consistently been advocating myself for the last 2 decades medically, because it's led to diagnoses that have helped me understand myself better and learn how to accommodate myself better and learn how to live a better life. And I just wanted to share that with you because I love you guys. And I don't know, if you have any questions, drop them down below. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You could like, share, comment, subscribe, but you really don't have to. If you want to, great. But if you have no energy, if I were you, I would just, instead of doing that, do something kind for yourself, right? But if you got it to the end of this video and you didn't like it, I feel like you're showcasing the behavior of a fan. You know, it's weird. Why would you watch a video that you don't like all the way to the end? Someone that you don't like. Anyway, but if you didn't like it, send it to somebody that you don't like in order to spite them. Could be an ex-boyfriend, a coworker, an aunt, a mother-in-law, a child. Don't send it to a child. I mean, like, your child. Like, not a child. Like, if you are, like, 54 and your kid's 28. Like, I don't mean, like, an actual child. I meant, like, your child who is of age. Ah! Okay. Something that I did also think was really funny that I'm just going to end with really quickly is I was reading The Mountain Is You, which is, like, a self-help book. And this is so funny. So I was reading this paragraph and I thought, that doesn't seem accurate. It says your body's governed by a homeostatic impulse. Your brain is built to reinforce and regulate your life. First of all, what? Your subconscious mind has something called homeostatic impulse, which regulates functions like temperature, heartbeat, and breathing. It basically says, like, through your autonomic nervous system, it maintains a balance among the hundreds of chemicals and billions of your cells so that your entire physical machine operates in complete harmony most of the time. And it also, like, your brain is built to regulate your physical self and your mental self. And I thought, what the system are you talking about? So I Googled, do people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, like, how's their homeostatic impulse? And it says that they experience a disrupted homeostatic impulse primarily due to widespread dysfunction of the automatic nervous system, a condition called dysautonomia, and then I also Googled OCD, and it says in people with obsessive compulsive disorder, the homeostatic impulse, the biological and psychological drive to maintain internal stability is severely disrupted, resulting in a system that perpetually tries to correct for perceived rather than actual threats. And I was like, okay, so everybody else has a regulated nervous system where their brain and body are trying to protect themselves. Hey, foreign to me. Anyway, I just thought that was really funny. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. If this resonated with you, if you have any questions, like, you can just, like, message me or leave them down below. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. I just thought that was so funny. I had to share it. My mouth hurts from smiling. And, yeah, that's it. I'm proud of you. I love you. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day. And that's it. YouTube done. Heck yeah, brother.